So today I am pretty excited because we are actually going to make souffle by request from my friend Anne, which secretly played into my plot because June never makes souffle. I don't know why. So this gives us a good opportunity to actually do something that he rarely does and which I really, really like. So I guess to start off with, Ju, what are the ingredients in a souffle? Hopefully things that everyone kind of already has at home, which I think is the point.
I think you should. Well, except for the cheese, maybe. So, eggs, flour, cheese. Well, we're making a savory souffle today, not
Savory
the sweet
souffle.
one. You can do sweet savory, but we're doing the savory one today. So I'm using goat cheese today, but you can probably use Parmesan or any kind of soft cheese.
Can you look at the camera?
So, yeah.
That's it?
Hmm.
Yeah, so really easy. I think people are scared of souffle because there are a few things in there which are, I think, fatal mistakes, which Ju will try to point out to you. And then there's the fatal mistake of when you actually put it in the oven, and then there needs to be quiet and no stomping, and
That's not a thing.
it's true.
I make it a thing because I don't want you to make too much noise.
Well, why you don't want me to make too much noise then?
Be quiet, babe. Come on, let's
But
finish.
why do you not want it to make too much noise? Because
Because the vibration of the sound could cause the
so it's
souffle
a thing.
to
So if you got Bigfoot
drop.
Bertha walking around here just moving around, tell Bigfoot Bertha to sit somewhere. Bigfoot Bertha, you got souffle in the oven, right? Yeah, so it is a real thing. All right, so how do we start?
Okay, so we're gonna start with a base, and then we're gonna whip the meringue into.
Can you look at the camera, please?
We're gonna make the base, and then we're gonna whip the meringue into the base, and then we're gonna put it in the ramekins, and then we're gonna bake it off.
All right,
So super simple.
do it.
All right.
Hit it.
So transfer some ingredients over to my station. So we're gonna start with the butter in the pot. I'm gonna melt the butter,
That looks like high heat.
and then we're gonna add the flour. We're basically making a roux. So the base of souffle is really a roux.
What's a roux?
Roux is a butter flour mixture that is traditionally used to thicken sauces. Um,
If you ever made like where I'm from, uh, biscuits and gravy, we usually make a roux also to thicken the gravy.
right. But for this one, you really don't want any color because you don't want your souffle to be dark.
Okay.
So it's a very light roux. I think they call it a blonde roux if you want to be technical.
You just want it to be a light roux. You don't want a lot of color. French like to have things very pretty. So they're particular about coloring in their dishes.
Well, it depends on what they're making. If they're making like a...
Well, today we're making a souffle, so I'm talking specifically about a souffle.
Don't be cutting me off.
I cut you off. I'm just
Rude.
saying.
So the flour goes in the pot.
I noticed you turned it down when you put the
Just a
flour
little
in.
bit because I don't want the butter to burn.
So you had the high heat to melt the butter initially. You turn it down when the flour went in the pot.
So we start with the roux and then we're going to add milk. So when you add milk to roux, it becomes a bechamel.
Don't look into the pan so much.
What am I supposed to look at?
Well, if you look too much, then they can't see what's in the pot.
I'm supposed to look at you? I don't want to look at you.
Your head's in the frame is what I'm trying to tell you. You're still doing it. Thank you.
I'm going to find a new co-host.
I'm not a host, I'm actually the chef.
See how it's bubbling and it's starting to get color? If you can smell it, it smells like nutty
They can't smell
aroma
it.
here.
They can't smell it.
So that's what we're looking for, nutty aroma. Turn it down. You're just cooking off the flour a little bit. I turned it down already. Now I'm going to add the milk and the cream. Is it already a combination? I have already put the liquid together.
So milk, cream plus roux, what is that?
I already said that.
What did you say?
Bechamel.
I don't remember you saying that.
I said that.
When?
You need to pay attention.
You never said it was a bechamel. So you put the cream and milk into the roux,
Hmm.
and how long are we cooking this? And you turn the heat up.
I'll turn the heat up. So we're just bringing it to a boil. When the flour, the butter, the roux basically will activate when the liquid comes to a boil, and then you're gonna see that it's gonna thicken up a lot.
Okay. You're basically making a thick, creamy mixture, and I see it's thickening. They probably can't see because your big head's in the pot. Yeah, it's real thick now.
Yeah, see, you're too busy listening to your dumbass.
Oh, it's a family show.
See how thick it's getting? Just continue to whisk until that's really done.
And how do you know when it's done? It's getting really
it's
sticky
really
and tacky
thick,
now.
yeah, sticky and tacky. Huh?
All right. That was what, 5 minutes?
Not even.
Not even.
So then we're gonna come over here. Gonna keep whisking it off the heat to cool it down a little
Middle.
bit so that you don't cook, so that you don't overcook the eggs.
Why are you whisking?
I want to cool it down
Oh, you're just
because it's
cooling it
pretty
down.
hot, right? So if you put the eggs in there, it's gonna turn to scrambled eggs. You don't want that. So I'm cool it down a little bit.
The whisking actually is cooling it down.
Yeah. If you want to let it sit for a second to cool it down even more, you can, but you might get time for that.
Is it cool enough? I'm almost certainly going to forward through this.
Okay. So we're gonna add the eggs a little bit at a time.
Why a little bit at a time?
It's called tempering the yolk so that you don't cook.
You don't scramble the eggs.
You want to stir while I pour, or you want to pour?
You want me to pour.
Of course, because you know we can't stir that fast. Why are you all up on me?
Learn to cooperate.
Can you pour without blocking me though? No, 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 no. We do.
Yes?
No. So you can see the egg is incorporated into the roux, the egg yolk that is, not the whites. The white we're gonna whip into a meringue.
So this is not the full egg. These are just the egg yolk.
That
I
what
will give you the recipe.
That what I just said.
I'll give you the recipe on the screen. And if you want, you can email me, of course, as is custom. What are you looking for?
I'm gonna add in the goat cheese now. Why is my goat cheese over here?
Some people are unprepared. So if they don't have goat cheese, what else can they use?
Parmesan works, but who wants the Parmesan souffle?
You can have Parmesan souffle. Doesn't sound too bad.
Doesn't sound good.
Gruyere.
Goat cheese is nice because it's goaty.
Gruyere sounds good.
Gruyere might be a little too thick, too dry. You want a creamy cheese.
Okay. But would it still work?
I've never tried it, so I don't want to say yes.
The problem with souffle, and here's one of the key things you don't want to mess up. You have to be pretty exact in the kind of density of your ingredients. You can use things that are similar to goat cheese to make it turn out okay, but if you use something that's too dense or too hard, or the further you go away from what we're showing you, the more likely it is that your souffle won't rise. And it's all about the rise.
wash your hands before cooking?
Shut up! I wash my hands every single time. I'm the one usually have to remind you to wash your hands.
They call it flavor.
Flavor. Sweet nectar.
Okay, so the goat cheese is in. Now we're gonna season it, right? We're gonna season it with herbs and salt and spices, anything that you can find in your refrigerator.
Yeah.
So I'm using chives today because chives goes really nicely with goat cheese.
Those are strong.
And I'm just eyeballing. Is that chivy enough?
Yeah, it's fine. Give me that. Come on, give me that. Good. That's perfect.
All right, so the base is done. Set it aside. Now we're going to whip the meringue.
The all-important.
Actually,
meringue.
no, we're gonna butter the ramekins first because
The all-important buttering the ramekins first.
when it's done, you're gonna transfer immediately.
So why do you need to butter the ramekins? I've been told that this is a very important step, which means I'm probably going to have to do it. You want to let the experts come in and, do what they got to do.
It's an important step because it creates friction on the wall of the ramekin so that your souffle can climb on it.
Yeah. So it's going to climb the wall, and I'm going to create that wall for it to climb.
So you know how I save these sheets?
Yes, Joseph Chan saves
For a
the
reason.
wrappers from butter, the butter wrappers, so he can use them later to butter things he needs to butter.
Why did you just call me Joseph Chin?
All right, Joseph Jew, whatever you want to call yourself. I thought I was doing it.
You can't do this.
Let me butter the thing. I don't know.
No, babe.
Let me butter it, babe. It's mine.
Okay.
Watch some expert butter.
You want a pretty generous coating of butter, okay?
I know how to butter anything.
So that when I sprinkle the breadcrumbs on the...
All right, is that good?
That's pretty good.
You butter the rest. All right, fine. I didn't like it. It's a little work. Seems like we can do both at the same time. Is that okay with you?
Judging from the amount of that, we need more ramekins.
You want to pick out a couple more?
Yeah. We didn't have breadcrumbs, so I'm using saltine crackers.
What do you need? Why are you using this in the first place? Can you explain?
So this creates a coarse, what do you call them?
I don't know. What are you trying to say?
So this is really smooth, right? So this is just gonna stick to the walls of the ramekin, and then it creates that friction so that the souffle can rise.
Got it. So the butter was actually just the mortar. Now you're gonna put the bricks in there that's gonna help the souffle rise up the side of the ramekin. And actually, this is pretty important because this allows you to add a little bit more flavor to your souffle. So what is in your mixture, by the way?
My mixture is
Show them.
crackers, unsalted saltine crackers.
Yeah.
You didn't-
Unsalted crackers.
you didn't butter in it.
I buttered plenty.
And then I had some fried shallots, just leftovers from yesterday, so I chopped that up and put it in. Add more flavor.
It smells very nice too.
Not enough butter.
There's plenty of butter. In fact, that's the one you did. So if it's not enough butter, it's because you didn't do it right. As is your custom. Actually, it looks like it's plenty. I'm a fourth of this anyway, so it doesn't matter what you say. Talk crazy as you want.
But you can use breadcrumbs. This has no butter at all.
That's the one you did, I said. next?
Okay, so now we're done. We're gonna whip the meringue. Can you turn the oven on?
To what?
400 degrees surround.
What are we doing now?
So this is the remaining, the egg white, right? I'm stopping here because I want to show you. This is a medium peak.
So you were trying to achieve a medium peak. How do you know that's a medium peak?
So you pull this out, right? And then you slowly turn it around, and then you see that the peak remains.
What's a hard peak?
Hard peak, you see how like it still flops around? That's a medium peak. So soft peak will eventually bend, and then a stiff peak will stay as stiff as possible.
That looks pretty stiff though. Is that too much?
No, that's okay.
You done?
Yep.
All right.
So now we're coming back over here.
What are the tips you can give to make sure they get a nice medium peak that will help their souffle rise? Or do you want me to tell?
Oh, room temperature egg white.
Yeah.
Cream of tartar helps stabilizes it. A really, really clean bowl. You don't want any fat or any kind of contaminants.
Yeah. So that's one of the keys. If you put even a little bit of the egg yolk, in the pot, you're probably going to compromise your souffle because the protein, which is the egg white, which is 100% protein, is kind of enveloping the air. And if you have any fat in there, it won't form a nice bubble. And the whole point of the souffle, this rising thing that's supposed to happen, is the kind of the expansion of those air bubbles to make the thing kind of go up. But if you have fat in there, you won't have a nice envelope for the air. And shut up, I'm giving an explanation here.
Wrap it up.
If you don't have a good clean bowl, nice meringue, perfect, it's just not going to rise.
Oh my goodness.
Hurry up.
So I added a little bit of the meringue in first so that, just to thin out my batter. And then I'm going to incorporate the rest in maybe about 2 batches.
You're annoying. This is why we don't make souffle, by the way.
So now you're going to spoon
on
this
purpose.
into the ramekin, like so. This is also an important step. You want to kind of run your finger through the edges, like that. This creates a really nice... Can I have my towel back?
Why are you running your fingers in there?
So it creates a nice square top. If you don't do that, then it's going to be like a rounded edge.
Plop.
Yeah.
We don't want to.
So you know how you see the food? Theirs is always like square top. That's what you want. And then we put it back in the refrigerator until your oven heats up.
Which looks like it'll be in 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll see you in 5 minutes. Okay, so it looks like it has been resting in the refrigerator for what, 10, 15 minutes maybe?
About 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, should be good and cold, stabilized.
Oven temperature is up to temp.
Yeah, so 425, 25 degrees above what we actually need it to be. So hit it.
Okay. I'm taking the souffle out.
You want me to open it?
Not yet. They recommend cooking souffle in a water bath because it creates a stabilized temperature. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of hot water in here. Make sure your water is hot.
So we don't always use a water bath.
You want to be really careful because it's hot water and then the hot pan and
Why are
hot
you using
oven.
why are you using a hot water bath though?
It stabilizes the temperature of the ramekin, not the ramekin, the cooking temperature, and then and the moisture of the hot water prevents the souffle from cracking in the top.
Got it.
Turn the temperature down to the desired temperature, which is 400, and then set the timer for 15 minutes. Hate this dog.
So 15 minutes. And like I said, this is a time where you want to be careful of stomping kids, vibration, noise. Things don't normally fall, but they can. And we've actually had it happen before because some people are very, very loud for such a small person. So we'll be back in 15 minutes.
I think he's talking about him.
So looks like our souffle is done. We ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take this bad boy out. That's the timer.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Woo.
Whoa. And that is the water bath steam. I'll get it. And that is souffle. Beautiful.
See all the rise, the browning
Rose,
top.
brown.
It's toppling over and it's cracking, but it doesn't really matter. So let's eat. This is my new favorite tool.
And like I said before, maybe I didn't say before, this can't really sit. You kind of have to eat it now. So
And Arthur insisted that we have some toppings, so I'm just using the leftover crumbs and some chives and just put it on top.
I didn't insist nothing.
Okay,
Now,
ready to taste?
let's see what we have.
It's like
Yeah.
eating air.
Beautiful, eggy,
See,
chivy.
it's cooked all the way through, but it's not scrambled.
Excellent. So that is the souffle, and this is Cooking with Art and Ju. Goodbye,
next
everyone.
time.
We'll see you next time.